Hi, this is Natalie Callback, and I'm here with Marsha Valk from the Netherlands, who is, I don't know how many years she has been, probably almost all of the years we have been doing Creative Jumpstart, but she is again one of our amazing contributors to Creative Jumpstart 2019. I'm super, super thrilled about it. Marsha always inspires me. Her projects are just like so cool. And I'm especially thrilled that she joined us for this year's Creative Jumpstart, which has the theme of My Home is My Castle. And I know she's perfect for that. So without further ado, I want to say hi to Marsha. And Marsha, hi.
Hi.
Marsha, where are you in the Netherlands right now?
I'm in Amersfoort, which is very near Utrecht.
Mm-hmm.
So it's right in the middle of the country.
So if you guys, because a lot of people, of course, know the Netherlands because of Amsterdam, but as with every country, there's way more around it than just Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Although the Netherlands are very small, right?
Yeah, I think I can get to Amsterdam by train in about 30 minutes.
That is close.
And so people in New York might be still in New York when they travel 30 minutes. I'm in Amsterdam.
That is so funny. That is so true. Yeah. So Marsha, tell us a little bit about what you usually do when you do your craft and arts.
Do you mean what kind of crafts I do? Or well, everything. No, I'm trying to hone it down to printmaking, but I used to do everything: embroidery, kids crafts, painting, art journaling. I started with scrapbooking. Well, there's probably nothing I haven't tried or don't want to try. Yeah.
That is true. Also, Marsha is on the creative team for, or I don't know how you guys call that, but for jelly art. So if you're into monoprinting, she does amazing videos. You should check it out. And then, yes, you are amazing with printmaking, and I love it. So I can't wait to see if there might be something. I don't know yet what Marsha has done for the Creative Jumpstart, because when we are recording this video, that is way earlier than she actually has to turn in her video. So Marsha, we talked about that you were in Amersfoort and the Netherlands, and as the theme for this year for Creative Jumpstart is My Home is My Castle. What does home mean to you personally?
Yeah, well, I have thought about that, and it's kind of difficult because I wasn't born in the Netherlands. Or I was born in the Netherlands, but I wasn't born in Amersfoort.
Mm-hmm.
I only lived here. I've been here since 2001. Before that, I moved around. So I have lived near Birgit.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly I've been in Overijssel, which is a province. And my husband is from Overijssel, and I studied in Overijssel, and I was born in Overijssel, and I lived in Overijssel, but not all in the same place. Which means that I don't actually know what to call home. I'm pretty sure it's Overijssel.
But dear Amersfoorters, I'm really sorry, but
no, but it's strange because well, I don't know what to call home. But I have thought about it, and I think home means to me more this house. Because this is the place where I've lived the longest of all of the places where I've lived. But I'm not really sure if they're my people. if you know what I mean. No, they're very nice, and I enjoy it here. But Yeah, well, if I hear someone talking in the accent of, the eastern part of the country, that's when I think, oh, that's I recognize.
Yes,
That that belongs to me or to my people.
I can totally understand that because I have lived actually not the longest time of my life. I was born in Düsseldorf in Germany, which is the middle. And then I moved to Hesher when I was 12, and then up to Hamburg, where I probably lived most of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm here. But even though I don't speak the typical kind of it's a slight dialect and some phrases in Düsseldorf and around, even though I don't really speak it, when I hear it, it makes me all warm and cozy. There's
Yeah.
something like so familiar with it, and I think
Yeah.
that's the imprint that you get when you're younger. And I have like one or two phrases where someone sometimes call me out and they were like, are you actually from, and they know, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah. That could happen to me. Yeah.
See, that's so funny because when you're not from the Netherlands, or whenever you're not from a certain country, it's really hard for you to distinct the differences in dialects, right? Or in accents, kind of. That's really it's hard to kind of like, you're like, oh yeah, this is Dutch. What is she talking about? Right? But
Yeah, and actually that's funny because if people from the western side of Germany speak a bit a dialect, or they speak with a bit of an accent, then I can hear that they are from right near the border, because the dialect of where I lived for a while, where my mom comes from, is very similar.
Which makes all sense. I mean, if you think about it, right? I mean, Europe has always been in this like weird flux of changing borders, like throughout the hundreds of years. Yeah. And I always think like borders are just such a weird thing anyway, because if you think about it, it's like this like weird, in all the world, it's just like a weird construct that we forced upon countries. But not to get too philosophical. So, I know that a lot of the projects that you do, and I'm speaking like, it's always like, it blows me away, like when you do, like especially things for that are for your home. I'm always like, oh my god, this looks so cool. It's like something out of a magazine when I see what you do. And I know you don't like, so you're very humble. You're always like, yeah, no, but it's true. You do such a great, it's so beautiful. So when you do your projects, I always want to have them for my home. Is there anything that you have done that is kind of like something for your home that you would say is your favorite, and you actually like, that you're like, oh my god?
Well, there's something that comes to mind, but I don't have it. It's downstairs.
Yeah.
And it's the coasters I made for the squad.
Yeah.
I love those. There are little white tiles that I decorated with nets, stamps, and stencils. And I was really, really chuffed with how they turned out. And they are still around. And I don't keep everything around because I throw a lot of what I make away. But they are still there.
That is so cool. I know you also did one Creative Jumpstart. You did this Picasso wall hanging. Do you have that?
Yeah. I keep it in my room. This is my room. And I have prepared. And
look at this.
Also,
oh my God. It was such a cool lesson too, and she created this very cool. It was not this year, 2018. It was 2017, I think.
No, maybe even
16.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, but you're right.
People are still talking to me about this.
That is all made from cardboard,
Yeah.
corrugated cardboard, and she showed this amazing way on how to put this. It's dimensional, which might be not that clear to see
Yeah,
in the
I don't
video.
know what happens if I put it close to the
But
camera. So
I think you get the picture. Her
yeah,
colors are just so cool, and the way how you often recycle things too. You use like objects that you find in the household or
yeah, because I like to think, especially about Creative Jumpstart, that people should be able to play along with the stuff they have at home. So that's what I'm thinking about, and then I think, well, who doesn't have a cardboard box? Who doesn't have paint? So that will always work,
I
I
love
think.
that.
Yeah,
It's always like such a, she always thinks so much about all the different things and also how approachable. But that was one of my favorite, actually, but that was one of my favorite videos you made too, because it's such a
yeah.
cool, I would hang that up in a heartbeat too.
Well,
So,
it's still here, so it's a favorite. And actually um, I think I probably have all my Creative Jumpstart projects, so that means something, except for one, and that's because it was hanging in my living room for a long time. Do you remember the hexagon? Those were cardboard too. I
yes,
was the first year.
yeah.
That was the first year, and they were in my living room for a long time, and then I was just sick of them, and I thought, well, okay. So we took them down, and then I was like, yeah, what am I going to do with these? Well, they are cardboard. Let's just throw them away.
I do
I
that
could
too.
make one. Yeah,
I think it is okay. I think there is something I paint over a lot of canvases too. A lot of
yeah,
the paintings that I did might not exist anymore that I have shown. And I think that's totally legit. And I also do think, because I think there's a couple ways on approaching art, and one is like um and crafts. It's like I think you and I, we both also like the process sometimes more than the actual, it's more
yeah,
about like that you do something that's creative and you try something out and it might be cool for a while, but then you just like you move on, you have other
yeah,
stuff. And also I don't want to be a hoarder. So I don't feel that like like there are things that I'm very attached to, but then there are a lot of things that I just like, I had a good time, I love doing it, and now I can move on and do something else.
yeah. I That's why I like making stuff for the home too,
Hmm.
because then I can use it. uh, I don't have room for another canvas and another canvas and another canvas, but I can use a coaster or a tea towel
Hmm.
or something like that. And then if it breaks or if it goes, it breaks or whatever,
Changes, yeah.
yeah, then I can make something new.
Do you redecorate a lot your home?
No,
You don't?
no, no, no. Actually, um, well, we painted our living room last year, but there are a lot of. This is an old house
Hmm.
in the 30s,
Hmm.
1930s, and there's a lot of work to be done. So that's a home too, something that needs a lot of work,
I used
but more
to.
in the repair types of.
I see
Uh,
what you mean. Yeah. I like to. It depends. I do like to redecorate things. I used to be more on it though. I used to, and I think it depends on a little bit how much space you have. When I was a student or as a also in high school, I just had like a very small room when I was studying too. And so somehow redecorating made it feel like brand new, and I would even like move furniture around every year and redecorate everything and buy new pillows. I mean, all very cheap, but would make
yeah,
something new. And I think I think it's not necessarily like a time thing. It's more like now that I'm like, yeah, I like it how it is, or there is no feeling of need to change it up all the time, I think.
Yeah, but we're the same age, so maybe it's an age thing.
Maybe. Maybe. Although I have like one of my best friends in Germany, Sandra, she has this urge still, and she does this thing where she loves wallpaper, and I mean like super cool wallpaper. Like
Yeah.
there's a really cool wallpaper store in near where my old hood is, and they have, for example, like a whole contingent of old former Eastern Germany wallpaper. So
Oh,
if you grew
wow.
like I didn't, but people who grew up in the former eastern part of Germany, they know like certain figures, or or if you go there and you need like flamingo wallpaper, you will find it there, and you will find it there from the 70s or the 60s. You know what I mean? So that's a really cool place, and she has like a wall that is. I don't know. It's not that many. I don't know how you call it, but stripes,
Yeah,
right?
rose or what? Yeah.
Right. So she just does it like once a year or every 2 years, and she changes that wallpaper wall
Oh,
up, and then also changes some of the decoration, and I love it. I
yeah.
just don't know how she does it.
Well, if you know how to wallpaper, I'm sure it's really easy.
It is. I always look at it and I think I should know how to do it, but then do I really want to try? I mean, if it's a pattern, especially, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to really think about it, and to not like waste a lot of money, and how to line it up, and I have a hard time
You need to do it with two people,
yeah.
and it's recipe for disaster
Yes,
and a big row and everything. So
exactly.
yeah, you need to be a really good team to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, my husband and I are a really good team unless we start working on things like this together. There have been many IKEA
This-
incidents, let's say,
yeah,
that
that's the word.
that ended up with us just drinking a mojito or some sort of drink, because that was the only way how we could be like, what ifs. We're both
Yeah,
very strong-willed people.
yeah, it kind of sounds familiar. I don't think my husband and I can wallpaper together. I don't think so. No.
So maybe we two can wallpaper together.
Well, there's an ocean between us. That might
That's
be
true.
a problem.
Well, next time I'm in the Netherlands, we will figure it out.
Yeah.
So, I know you said that before, or you kind of like hinted it, but now I want to come back to that. You said that you dabble in all kinds of like areas and you do everything. Is there anything that you just have on mind, and if not, don't worry about it, that you have not tried, but you're like really, really urging, or not, you're irking? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like you really want to
Yeah.
do it?
Yeah. Well, I've been waiting to get into a printmaking class for a long, long time, and I'm in it now.
Yay!
So I'm I'm confident that I will get to explore all of the printmaking
Techniques?
techniques. But I was actually thinking about this morning. I was thinking about that I heard a podcast about jeans and indigo dyeing.
Oh yeah.
Thing that I always, when I see it, and I think, oh, I want to do that, and that's something I have never done.
Yeah, I would do that too. There's and I think that is something that really, really interests me too. It's the printmaking too. I know we have that in common. But also in New York City there's a textile arts center where I took a class which was actually for it was for denim mending. So when you have jeans, how you mend them in a really cool way, and you use like
Yeah.
some old sashiko techniques, so Japanese
Yeah.
embroidery techniques, and that actually got me into the whole embroidery thing. But they
Yeah.
also offer those indigo and natural dyeing techniques and all kinds of stuff. And it's really fun. I have actually, that reminds me, I should check on them again. They have like really cool classes. But it was funny because I've never really, I'm not a sewer, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not really like, because I don't like measuring things.
No.
Can't
Yeah.
be anything that's too exact because then I'm like, why, but like incorporating that into my usual artwork or doing some smaller things that I can,
Yeah.
make like small pillows or whatever, or like
Yeah.
covers for an art journal. That's like something where I'm like, oh my God, that would be so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think if you try it, then you can do it because um, I think we're used to looking at how something is made, and then you can figure it out. You
Right.
just need to. Well, if you want to wear it, then you need to measure because otherwise it won't fit. But the basics of how something like that is made. You can figure it out. You can do it. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not sure about like clothes and stuff, but like, a pillow maybe. Because it depends. I guess once you learned it, maybe, I would feel more confident if I do a course and then I might do it. But then I also think like, I don't want to fall into this rabbit hole of then thinking I have to have it all and buy like 100 million pieces of fabric, because that's what's going to happen. It's going to be, I
Yeah,
take a
yeah,
course, I
yeah,
learn like one thing, how to make, I don't know, like a simple dress, and then I'm like, okay, I need to make 500 dresses for myself, and I will buy fabric till the end of dawn.
Hey, but didn't you make a skirt? An existing skirt?
I could. Yeah, it's possible. But sometimes I think it's also cool to take a class even if you know you're not doing this in that way again. Especially, I did this printmaking class, and I assume that as you said, you're learning different techniques. So I did a couple with the same person here, Bruno Nadolny, and he's amazing. But I did a couple printmaking classes with them, and they were different, different techniques. Last one was like dry point edging. I guess you're gonna do that too. And
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
yeah, but that was like, I
Oh,
loved it so much. But the thing is like, you need like a real printing press. There are some options of how you can turn actually like a die cut machine. There's a certain die cut machine that you can turn into a small
yeah,
printing press, but you have to kind of like, do something to the bed and,
yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
make something different. And the thing was like, I was like, I don't really need to buy this. Like, first of all, if I wanted to make prints, I wanted to make something bigger than postcard size. So
Yeah,
it doesn't really help me. But I learned a lot and I had super fun. And it's actually, I don't know how your class will be, but they do printing parties at the school.
yeah,
So you can come with once a month, every 2 months, you can come with the plates you have, and you give a small fee, and then you can just print there. So that's a cool way. So I don't need this on top,
no, yeah. So yeah, so the class I'm taking is like a printing party every week.
Yeah,
There are people in the class that are there that have been there for 30 years,
that's awesome.
and it's really cool because uh, these are people that I would not hang out with otherwise. But everybody just does their own thing, and so I can learn um, uh, from just looking what people are.
Yeah.
It's really really amazing. Yeah.
I think it is such a cool way because I remember first time I took a class with him, it's a couple years ago, and it was a lino cut class that I did with him, and it actually sparked the idea for my. I have these positive and negative foam stems that
Yeah.
you go, and that was actually sparked by one of those classes because I was like, okay, I'm not gonna. And it was called a reduction print where you
Mhm.
carve one part and then you print it and then
Yeah.
you cut another part in there,
Yeah.
so you only use the stem for a couple times, but then you alter it. So
Yeah.
of course Marsha does it too. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, check it out, reduction print. It's super fun. So you basically kind of like you change your stem or your print
Yeah.
thing plate as you're going, and then once you're done, it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
And that kind of like sparked that idea in me. Like, so it was like, yeah, no, people don't. You want to have something that's like you can build on top of each other. And that's why I came also to this idea of rubber stems on top of a foam stamp image and then a stencil.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important to do classes that are maybe even like very out of your comfort zone or very different from what you usually do, because you never know what kind of inspiration can hit you there, right?
Yeah. And it's also that I bring stuff to the class too. I was going there thinking I know nothing and I'm here to learn, but actually I have stuff to bring to the class too.
Of course, yeah. Because you're doing the mono printing on that gel plate, which I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of like, I know then I told my teacher he does mono printing or monotype.
Yeah.
And when I was talking about the gel plate, he was like, I heard about it, but I've never used it. So, there's all kinds of things where it can go both ways, I think.
Yeah.
And the teacher can learn something too.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
cool. I cannot
Yeah.
wait to see what you come up with all those things.
Well, for Creative Jumpstart or
No, in
yeah.
general, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No pressure.
No, I have. Well, I don't know when this airs, but I haven't been sharing anything I did because I don't have time to photograph anything during what I'm doing. So I'm doing the class, I'm doing the stuff what the teacher says, and then it's done, and then oh, okay, I didn't take any pictures.
These are the best classes. I actually think that's way better than thinking about taking photos, to be honest.
Yeah, and then I do take a photo of the end result.
Yeah.
But crappy lighting and sometimes it's already in the drying rack and somebody it's one of those with the wires and
Yeah.
they already put something on top. So I'm just photographing in between the wires. But just to show my husband, look, this is what I've done and this is my progress. And so I have documentation, but it's not for Instagram.
That is so funny, because I don't do much photos either in classes. I mean, I did share a couple when I did a watercolor class just recently, which I loved the class. It was amazing, but I didn't and it's not about that. I didn't like a lot of the things that I did there, but I learned a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. And it makes you really kind of vulnerable of I felt like vulnerable of sharing that, because you're sharing something that's not great. But then on the other hand, I think all those perfect images on Instagram are overrated anyway. To be honest, quite frank, it kind of bothers me that, because I'm always thinking like, oh, I don't have anything to share. Maybe that's true. Maybe I really don't have anything to share that people would be interested
I don't
in.
think so.
No, but because a lot of my stuff is just like ugly and messy, and there's a lot of process stuff, and I don't have time
Yeah.
to make it look gorgeous. But then I think, actually, I think it is okay to share these. I love seeing those from other people too, because it makes me feel like I'm a human being, and I know that other people, like, this is how life is. Life is not a white surface where you have pristine steps of art with like a little brush on the side. And I love those pictures, don't get me wrong, they're
I
awesome,
make them, so
right? But
yeah.
it's not how life is. And I think
No.
that's the
And
weird thing, because it's called Instagram, which means like you show.
yeah, but that was so
Yes.
I don't know 2015.
Yes, I know. I'm an old fart.
No, but the people in the class are all almost all older than me,
Hmm.
so they are not walking around with phones.
Exactly.
So if there was a younger crowd, then maybe it would be, um, um, not easier, but
You would think about it more, because you would see
yeah,
other people doing it too, and then
yeah,
you would share too. And that was,
yeah,
for me, the last classes I visited. They were a mixed crowd of people, but really no one was taking a lot of
no,
pictures. And it was mostly at the moment when he was like talking about taking a picture of your artwork or your whatever you wanted to do in that moment, just to see if it would like, and then turn it into black and white to see if
yeah.
your values are great,
Oh
if you
yeah,
have like some contrast in there or not. And that reminded me like, oh yeah, I could actually also then just photograph. But yeah, I think it is actually a good thing if you're not like totally into this, like, oh, I need to take a photo of everything that I'm doing. And also, it's okay to share crappy stages of something you're learning, because that's what it is. You're not making your masterpiece right away, right?
yeah. Well, the results are Instagrammable. I'm not. I'm actually proud of what I made. Um,
Yay!
and that's not what I usually when I take a class. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just do, or I just follow the steps the teacher gives me, because I want to, just do the learning and not be occupied with how it must look.
Yes.
But I have experience in printmaking,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't look at that way, but I do. So I know what will look good.
Right.
So the things I have made up until now look pretty decent.
Yeah. See, I love that. That
Yeah.
sounds. I can't wait to see some of that. So I hope when you feel confident about taking them out of the rack, that you will share some of them with us. So Marsha, where do people find you and your work and what you do?
Um, on my Instagram,
And what's your handle?
Marsha Valk.
So
Or
check out how her name is written, at Marsha Valk. That's her Instagram. Is that where you share most of your work?
yeah, and you can find, through the link. You can go to my website, and I have also listed all of my, YouTube videos, or not all, but the most recent ones, because, I make videos for Jelly Arts, and those are not on my website. They are on the website of Jelly Arts, and I do stuff for Stencil Girl. So that's not on my website. It's also on Stencil Girl's blog. So if you go there and then you click on the link, then you can find me everywhere.
Yeah, I hope you check it out. I love Marsha's stuff, as I said, and I also love. I mean, I know right away it's her, but we're
You do.
we're recording this right before Halloween, so the video will be posted in December. But so Marsha just did this like really really cool Halloween themed kind of monster mash printing video for Jelly Arts, and I just love it, and I really want to do it too. So check it out. I promise you it's awesome. But in any event, you should sign up for Creative Jumpstart to see Marsha's and the other people's videos, and sign up through her link. And yeah, we can't wait to see what you're doing, Marsha.
Thank you. I can't wait. I can't wait either. Yeah.
Thank you, Marsha. It was super fun talking to you again, and I hope to see you
Yeah.
soon again.
Okay.
Bye.